Next Thursday, July 13th, Blood Knight will enter Diablo Immortal for the first time. Now, this has been data mined for many, many months, and it's finally here. This class is going to be available whether you're playing for the first time or have been playing for a while, meaning if you're brand new to the game, you can start this right at level 1 when you create a character. There's no requirement to unlock this. Now, if you're looking at pre-farming some methods or doing anything to get a head start, if you've been playing the game, there's a lot you can do. In fact, I'm going to share 8 different ways that you can get a head start, and there's more than this. These are just kind of the 8 most important that I felt. First up, we're going to look at Yakin, okay? And this is the rarities and antiquities vendor. And normally you have this shop here, and there's the ability to purchase several different things. The weapons and primary armor are what we're concerned with. I have purchased one today because there was a daily quest to do so. Other than that, I've been hoarding my gold, so to speak, and I'm doing this so that once Blood Knight is released and I change classes, I can start buying 25 of the weapons and 25 of the armor per day, giving myself a chance to get more essences than I would have if I bought less of these. There's no guarantee I'll get anything at all, but there's a pretty good chance, especially if you buy 25 of each, that you'll certainly walk away with a handful of them. The secondary armor and jewelry do not have any method of giving you a legendary essence. You just want to make sure that players that are new to the game are aware of that. In fact, once you get to a certain level, these are really not worth buying at all. So they may be potentially upgrades early on, but in general, once you get into the Paragon levels, I would just avoid these altogether. If not even just avoid them from the start, saving your gold for other things like these ones or blacksmith upgrades and so forth. Now, the second thing that we have going on at Yakin is actually the event that's going on, Shady Stock. Now, there's 3 choices here that you can get. 2 of them are identical. And as you acquire these shady tokens for completing fairly simple daily quests, you'll earn these. And you can get 100 per day. This event is actually going to last past the date when Blood Knight releases. Now, in the past, when you purchase this set item, it actually refreshes. So my plan, I've bought one already, and I'm going to buy 2 more of these and buy the set item. Okay, the set item is not going to matter whether I buy it now or later. And then I'm going to hopefully see that set item refresh, and I will save the next 3 of these purchases for once I'm on a Blood Knight, and that will get me 3 essences for the Blood Knight. You could potentially save all of these if there's no cooldown on buying the item and get a few more. I just still looking to pick up some set items and then farm some wisps and so forth and craft around what I've been able to farm. So I'm not going 100% on the min-max solely for essences, but I did want to mention this out. Now, another thing we can do is save 10 monstrous essences. Now, these essences can be turned in at the Heretic Altar, and these are farmed essentially from doing open world farming, whether you're just doing bounties, circles, loops, whatever it may be, killing mobs, side quests. Now, saving 10 of these for the day when you change the Blood Knight and then turning them in, there's a good benefit there because the first turn in per day at the Heretic Altar actually has an increased chance of yielding a legendary item and potentially more than one. Okay, I've actually seen up to 3 legendary items drop at once. So you could get a handful of legendary essences that way. We also have the Hills Trader. This one will be unavailable to anybody who purchased the legendary item in the first week of the month because there's a limit to 1 per month for this item. And it's just the monthly legendary item for 1,600 hilts. And I'll show you as I get up here. And it's this one right here, the mystery legendary item. I've been saving mine for 1,600 hilts. It's going to be pretty affordable for me. In general, I don't always find this one worth the cost. I do when I've changed classes for the first time, which is a long, long time ago, right? But right now I've got a lot of hilts, mainly because I don't buy the rare crests, just for some transparency there. But I've got a lot of hilts I'm sitting on, so it's going to be well worth it for me to purchase one of those. Now, we also have the Mystic Fish, right? And we've talked about this before in many videos when we're trying to get an experience boost, getting up to a new threshold or whatever the case may be, new difficulty. Well, we can save the Mystic Fish. And when you turn these in, they also have a really high chance of yielding legendary items. I don't know if this is guaranteed or not, tell you the truth. I don't do enough fishing. However, I usually get a couple of them, but I never really pay attention to whether I get 1 legendary item per them. But I know regardless, it's a really high chance and worth doing. And on top of that, another thing you can save in your inventory, if you've been doing it so far, or if you have any events that aren't completed, are these mystery set items. Mystery legendary items. I also have some mystery set items. These ones will not matter when I open them, but I have mystery legendary items as well, and these are what you want to use in order to get some extra essences as you kind of swap to that class, and that's why I've been saving these personally. And you can see that I have picked up one Mystic Fish as well. I just didn't want to go into my inventory and ruin the next one before I got there. So what else can we possibly do here? We have a Crimson Plane event coming, which is basically the same thing as the Fractured Plane, except for you'll be a Blood Knight. And this will be located, I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be located next to the Fractured Plane. I don't know otherwise. We'll see when the time comes, but you're going to go in the same way. Supposedly it's the same event. You're going to have 15 floors, might even have the same map layout, which you can find on minmaxrpg.com under the Warband section. And you can go through the floors, complete them, and once you complete 15 floors of the Fractured Plane, you get new objectives for rewards, and those new rewards actually yield legendary items. So you might have to clear this once, then you'll see the new objectives in which you can get rewards for things like clearing in a time limit, clearing with fewer deaths, and so forth. And this will be a really good means of getting several legendary items at once if you complete more than one objective. Now, there's still more that we can do here, and the next two things have to do with the Warband. Hopefully everybody's in a warband, and if you're not, you've still got plenty of time to find a warband or even just find players that are willing to do this for the release of Blood Knight, if nothing else, okay? And maybe you guys will stay together and continue to participate in the warband, which would be even better. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the normal defense, okay? And I'm going to go down there to show you, just so there's no confusion here. There's an endless defense, which you can run over and over, but there's also a weekly defense, which the time can be set by your warband leader, and it's this normal mode. And our time is currently set for Monday night, and we're going to try to change this. Hopefully, we'll be able to do so because this resets on Monday at the server reset, and then we have raids reset on Thursday. So a lot of people will run their raids on Monday and also do this weekly warband defense. However, if you wait till Blood Knight releases, you may get an extra legendary that way. There's a super high chance that this event yields a weapon, and typically it has an ancestral power. So if you get an ancestral power weapon, which also counts as a legendary item, and it's not an upgrade for your tableau, well, you can go ahead and just shard that one and get the essence as well, or potentially use it as an item if it's an upgrade for you, but not the tableau. So that can also get you a boost. And since you're going to be running this raid anyways, it kind of just makes sense to save it at this point. Wait a few days if you normally run sooner. Hopefully you can arrange that with your warband. Next thing in regards to warbands in general is save your Thursday raids until after you class change. In fact, there are probably going to be some warbands out there that are running raids as 8 Blood Knights because I think this class is going to be so popular. But the warband raids themselves have an enormously high chance of dropping legendary items, which is why I recommend trying to get a warband together, or at least running these Heliquary raids for the first time on Thursday after you've class changed, because it's just going to basically rain legendaries and items in general every time you do this. It's actually one of the fastest methods in game in terms of farming. However, obviously, once you've run the 5 bonus rewards, it dramatically decreases. But definitely recommend doing that. So that's 8 tips, and certainly not all of them. There are other ways to go about this, but I think that those are kind of the 8 most efficient or simplest things to do to kind of get you a head start on getting all these essences. I will be streaming a lot on Twitch once Blood Knight releases. Make sure to check me out there. I'll leave a link in the description of the video below. And the idea of this is just to basically show off any of the essences I get, suggest builds, kind of talk about the class in general, and get some feedback as well from the members of the community. And we'll see how this is going to kind of play out when the time comes. It looks like this class is going to be very, very strong, and that a lot of people will swap to it. And similar things have happened in games from Blizzard in the past where classes at release are very strong to kind of hype it up, and then things get tuned down. So if we're able to kind of get some positive feedback about objective thoughts of what may be too strong or what could be balanced, this would just be some handy information to pass on and so forth. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch, and have a great day.